Hi everyone, this is Sarah Weidman with the Stressless Student. And I actually want to talk to you about something that I notice in a lot of my students and what they struggle with, and actually something that I struggle with too. And I'm going to explain that to you and how and the steps I took to get over it. So I wonder how many of you ever experience resistance. Now, you may not know it as resistance. You may know it as I don't want to, avoidance, like I'm just going to watch this Netflix show and then it's 3 hours later. Or resistance might look like I don't care, right? All of these things are resistance. And so the other day, I was working on a project and I really did not want to take the first step or the next step. And in fact, I was angry about it. I was really, really angry about it. And the woman who's coaching me, Gretchen Wagner, actually happened to be online. And I put on Facebook, I said, I don't want to do this. I'm really upset. And she just listened. She was just there. And then once I, sort of communicated all my frustration and anger, then I was like, well, in order for me to do the next part of the project, I have to see all the steps that I actually got done. And so then I started looking through, these happen to be videos, all the videos that I'd already finished. And I was like, oh, I actually got a lot done. Not to mention the fact that I actually like watching myself on video, little self-absorbed there. And so then in my brain, right, I started to get excited and think like, oh, I'm awesome. And that celebration is really key, right? Because then my mind calms down. And then the third step, I ask myself, what is the smallest step I can take to continue on this project, right? So again, here are the steps that I took. So I was in resistance. I didn't want to do the project. So I used a friend. I acknowledged the fact that I was in resistance, that I was upset and frustrated, and I used a friend to talk about it. And through that conversation, then I had that question, okay, well, what parts of the project have I already accomplished? And by viewing all the stuff that I had already done, number one, I knew what the next step was. And number two, I had a little celebration and I was like, oh, I'm awesome. And then my mind was in the state of like, okay, now I can do the next step. And I literally knew what the next step was. So I asked myself, what is the smallest step that I can take right now? So I'm curious to know, how do you experience resistance and what steps do you take to help yourself get out of that resistance and then motivate to do the next thing? Please comment below, and if you would like some help overcoming that resistance to be motivated to get your schoolwork done with less stress, please feel free to contact me. Take care.